And just by changing her diet and doing intermittent fasting, going keto, as you said, no carbs, no sugars, and basically the doctor said that she might not need to get the hip replacement because of the massive improvement just from tweaking her diet has made. So
Hi, I'm Robert here with Quinton. We're on the Side Hustle podcast with Nim Mihalec. And Nim, how you doing today?
Good. Hi, how are you?
Awesome. So let's jump right into it. The company you're with and what you guys are doing currently, and then we'll take a few steps back and ask you some questions about how you got involved and what your position, your role there is looking for, etc. So who are you with and what do you do with the company?
Well, I work for, I'm a contractor for Calowry Inc. And what we do is we have a technology, a manufacturing process that you put wheat and oats and different fibers through. And once it's used for baking and pasta, breads, pastries, dog food, chocolate even and cosmetics, it reduces calories and carbohydrates by 30 to 70%. So obviously not with the cosmetics, but that's it's a good filler for that as well. Reduces costs. And yeah, I basically do business development for them. So I'm just getting the word out and kind of promoting the company, looking for shareholders and investors and companies that could use our product.
So you got a few different roles. So how did you and Quinton meet? Quinton's our side hustle co-host here. So you guys met somewhere along the road. How did you two get introduced?
We went to I went to a networking party at the Vancouver Club in Vancouver, BC, and we met there. Started chatting. I noticed his watch, and then he invited me to the podcast. We had a good chat there.
Yeah,
Quinton loves his watches. What watch were you wearing?
It was the Rolex, I think.
The
Rolex.
Submarine.
Yeah. So yeah, we were kind of chatting. He was visiting from Kelowna and kind of told me a little bit about his business. And as you know, we interview Canadian kind of different corporations and businesses here. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty interesting role. And I guess it's not a startup. How long has it been around? It's a pretty established brand.
It's been around for about 11, 12 years. It's a lot of it has been R&D for this most part.
And that's a big issue for companies starting out is getting, like lifting a jumbo plane, the jumbo jet off the tarmac at the airport. It takes a lot of work. How many hours goes into building a plane before it flies its first flight?
Exactly.
Tens of thousands of work hours, etc. So we understand what goes into business. How did you get involved with Calowry? And Calowry is spelled different. We'll have all the information in the links below and a little bit of a background for you, Nim, and where people can, if they're interested in what they're hearing, either on the business side investment or, if they're into the food industry side, as a client, we'll have all that information in the comment section somewhere around the video here. Yeah. So yeah, a little bit about that.
Yeah, basically, you're not wrong. It definitely takes a lot of work to get to even where we are today, and tested thousands and thousands of different recipes to formulate the perfect recipe for whatever it is that you need to make. I got involved a few years ago. My friend that I've known for quite a long time, he showed me the company, and I looked it up. I read all the information I can find online, and I decided to become an investor. And then after a few years going through a couple AGMs and seeing the growth, and I was in contact with the founder, Hal, and Curtis became director of operations a little while ago, and then now he asked me to help out here. And
what is the opportunity for investors? Let's start there, because we get a lot of people in the finance industry, exempt market dealers, fund agents, etc., watching, that watch our videos. What specifically is the investment? What are you looking for?
Well, the investment is direct shares of the company. So you'd be a shareholder and have voting rights, and also any profit that may come around with commercialization that would be shared between the shareholders as well. The market's huge, so the chocolate industry alone, just in the States, is 133 million annually, and worldwide it's over 1.1 trillion. So if we can incorporate the calorie product into just a small percentage of even that, it would be huge numbers. So
And do you know the minimum buy-in, how many shares available, etc.?
the minimum buy-in is 1,250 shares, and they're currently at $1.20 a share. They there's 51 million shares outstanding currently, so it's, I mean, buy as many or up to 1,250 as you want.
So right now, $1,500 is the minimum buy-in, which is great, and it's a local Canadian company.
Yes, his main office is in Lethbridge, Alberta.
Yeah, the tax-friendly state,
Yeah,
unlike Ontario and BC.
yeah.
So what interested you in getting involved with Calowry? And it is spelled different, Calowry.
Yeah,
So,
because we
now,
lower
what
the
interested you? Because you know you're a bright guy. We've chatted before the podcast. You have an extensive background, but what interested you in this company in particular?
I could see the potential for it. I like business, so like side hustle. I'm that guy. I'm always got some kind of side hustle going, and I was a general contractor for many years before this, and I've been worked for nonprofit organizations and different just tried different fields, and I like networking and talking to people, and I like making a change, and I can see that this could be a huge change for people. And I see that like health and wellness is very important to me. I regularly go to the gym, try to watch what I eat, and the more you look into different foods and how they're manufactured, you see that like most chocolates, they sometimes they have different like sugar alcohols in it that can cause like upset stomach, and um, even with the breads and pastries are filled with things that just make you overweight, and it's just not good for you. So and any kind of like health food that I've ever tried, like I was vegan for a little bit, and trying like gluten-free breads and low fat kind of foods, it just doesn't taste right. And when I went to taste testing for calorie, it was everything just tastes like normal. What with the calorie and carbohydrate reduction. So
How about a little bit of a background? What were you doing in high school? Did you have an entrepreneurial spirit in high school? Did you have a side hustle in high school? Did you go to university? Did you study business? Let's just real quick from high school through university.
yeah, so in high school I was not the best student, so I didn't like to go to the classes sometimes. And then
I
I
graduated in the 10% of my class that made the top 90% possible. So don't feel left out, man.
yeah, oh yeah, I mean I still graduated somehow. I was able to like always get everything done, but I just attendance was an issue. So I ended up doing a pre-apprenticeship for auto body when I was like 17, 18, the last 2 years of high school. So every other day I would work at the auto body shop, like removing, like totally taking cars apart as a kid. And then on the summer, like every day. And after that, I ended up getting a job at a hotel, which I wasn't too fond of because I was always just doing the same kind of menial tasks. And that job, it ended. So I had to figure something else out. And my friend asked me to come and help him build a cedar fence. And I went there, and he was not very organized and didn't have like a cell phone and business cards and stuff like that. I was like, well, I could do this better. And I was actually talking to Curtis, who was involved in the fiber or softwood industry. So he was brokering softwood, and he used to be a contractor. And he said, well, do you think you can do it better than your friend? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, start your own business. So then 3 days later, I opened up a sole proprietorship online. Within a week, I had my first little fence, and it just grew from there. The next fence was double the size, the one after was double the size, and then I started doing decks and then got into cedar siding and soffits and then I realized Vancouver was too much rain, so I was always outside doing these jobs. So I moved inside and started doing medium to small size renovations, and I just wasn't so passionate about it. It was never something I really wanted to do. I just wanted to like either be in a like do sales of a product or find something like Curtis's softwood brokering business. Finding that product is hard where the market needs it. It helps people, and you can make some change. So once Calowry came to me, like it was just like I was going through a transition stage in my life, and it just popped up, and I was like, this is perfect. So just started running with it.
Well, I have a testimonial actually for your, I guess, diet that you mentioned before. My mom, she was supposed to get surgery, a hip replacement, and hasn't been able to walk well, or hardly at all in the last couple of years. And just by changing her diet and doing intermittent fasting, going keto, as you said, no carbs, no sugars, and basically the doctor said that she might not need to get the hip replacement because of the massive improvement just from tweaking her diet has made. So,
Yeah.
you know, folks out there with inflammation and all these kind of conditions, a lot of that can be either resolved or completely eliminated by just putting different food into your system.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I mean, I've seen it more than a couple times where someone's changed their diet and their skin clears up, or no more aching joints, and just diet and exercise. You are what you eat.
Yeah, totally. And you're a young guy. How old are you?
I'm 35. I'll be 36 in a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look younger than that. You look younger than
Yeah,
that.
right. I get that a lot.
I was gonna say that's a great testimonial right there. Just be like, this is the anti-aging secret. You know, if you look at that whole industry, it's massive. You know, people that are trying to look, feel younger, and I guess with the whole role here, what do you see for the big picture of this company? Do you see it being a company that's just expanding and growing, or looking to get acquired? Like, what's kind of the end game there for you guys internally?
I think, well, that's probably something that would be more for the director of operations, sorry. But I do think that we're open to all options. Commercialization is kind of what we would like to see to start, and then maybe even go public after that. But first, we'd like to commercialize the company and have it in the lineup of a major chocolate or pet food or bakery kind of conglomerate. We wouldn't be able to meet the size of the demand just by us creating our own, you know, pastries and breads and stuff like that. So,
Gotcha. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, as far as your diet, what do you feel has worked the best for you? Are you kind of like a keto guy or intermittent fasting, or what's kind of your routine?
lately, what I've noticed has worked for me is I don't eat. I wake up and I exercise fasted. Well, I have a coffee, water, and then I don't eat until like 2. And then now that it's summertime, it almost feels like eating later in the evening is better for me. I usually stay up till 11 or so. So if I eat around 8, it's still not too bad. And I'm not too crazy with diet. I'm not weighing food and trying to count my macros, and I'm kind of fortunate to have like a pretty good immune or metabolism so far. I'm not, like you said, I managed to look young still at 36 almost, and
Quinton at 42 or me at 58. We're all getting there.
Well, you guys still look great too. So
I'm turning 44 in like 30 days, so I'm getting up there. I'm chasing Rob.
Yeah. We're all chasing each other somehow. You know, I'll be first into the grave, and then I'll be reincarnated as something else, maybe a leaf or some wheat and oats, and be reintegrated into Calowry somehow.
Yeah.
I heard Deepak Chopra. We listened to a lot of his CDs, and he said we're all breathing in something like 30 million or 30 billion particles we breathe out every day, and our complete body is replaced every 2 or 3 years, like your skin every 7 months, your hair, you know, every month and a half grows X amount of inches, you know, if we have short hair, us three do. But he said, you know, intimately we're breathing in each other's particles, and you can be breathing in particles that belong to Winston Churchill.
Oh, wow.
You know, or Leonardo da Vinci. Like there's only so much mass on the earth or particles, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I've never even thought of that. All the dust in the air could be.
I always joke around, if you could Photoshop Quinton's head onto my body, then you know you'd have a match made in heaven. But so calories moving along, it's, you know, it's 12 years, but you know, congrats on the success and keeping it alive for so long, and you know, getting the patents you have now, correct?
Yes, we're
So in the video, you were mentioning that it was patent pending, but now the patents are in place. So if there's people out there that are looking, that's very important to have, you know, from an investor standpoint.
Yeah, the chocolate is patented. It was just granted at the start of the year, and for the wheat and baking products, and everything else has been patented for a while now.
That's amazing.
Cool. And what's I know this is kind of Rob's question. You want to ask about the favorite book?
Favorite book. One of the first ones that I read that gave me a lot of really good understanding of business was Good to Great by Jim Collins. It's a bit older, and he goes through all the Fortune 500 companies and which ones made it and which ones didn't. I felt that was really good. And right now I'm reading Principles by Ray Dalio, and I feel that one's really good to understand economy, and he even goes into depth of with his own personal experiences, which I could really relate to as being an entrepreneur for over a decade.
I love when people get into economics and they dive deep into the weeds. I had my first accounting course actually out of high school, and I didn't finish high school, same, you know, similar to you. I had, you know, issues with attendance, but finally decided I wanted to learn some accounting, and they stuck me in this economics course. And I thought, what does this have to do with accounting? You know, didn't learn anything about tax or bookkeeping or payroll. What is economics? And it was an instructor. I wish I could remember his name, but he was from Fiji and he worked for Statistics Canada. And he was teaching night courses, and he drew a picture of an island with a stick man. And he said, this is economics. You know, he asked everybody what they thought economics was, and everybody had the wrong answer. And he said, I'm going to show you with this little picture. And he drew a stick man, and he said, this guy builds great houses, but he doesn't know how to catch food. And he drew another island on the other side of the chalkboard, and he said, this guy over here is great at catching food. So they exchange business services. He yells over, he says, I'll build you a house. And he goes, great, if you can catch me food for 3 years. So they kind of weigh out the cost, the exchange of goods and services. And then he said, well, how are you going to get over here to build my house? And then he draws a little picture of a boat in the middle. And this guy says, I'll bring you back and forth to the island for the food and the building materials. He said, but you got to build me a new boat, and you got to supply me with food for 2 years. So that's basic economics, is the supply and sale of goods and services, and then tracking it. That's why I like the blockchain. We're not involved in, you know, the blockchain too much, but I like the concept where everything's tracked and open, because you can have several sets of books, accounting records. You know, there's a set of records for Canada Revenue. There's a set of records for the loan shark. There's a set of records for your spouse. There's a set of records for, you know, whatever the purpose is. But the blockchain's fully open and transparent, which is what I like about it.
Yeah. I mean, one service can help the other, and then we make a happy world.
Yeah, and then they use currency to, you know, facilitate the exchange of goods and services, and then you have the government printing as much as they can to deflate the economy and make it tough on everybody. I still remember hearing about this in the Second World War. Berlin flew bombers over England and dropped English pounds, millions and millions of dollars of currency onto the streets to help deflate their economy.
Yeah.
So it, you know, now Trudeau does it on a whim, right? Doesn't even use bombers. He just prints and sends it out to the masses.
The printing button got stuck since 2020, I think.
Since 2006 or 7, I think, since he came in.
That's right. My grandpa was telling me once that, I was actually born in Serbia. My background is Hungarian, but in Serbia, they went through a couple economic collapses, and he remembers times where I think two separate occasions where there's lineups at the banks, everyone's trying to get their money out. And once you miss that deadline of when you can get it out by or exchange to a different currency, it was worthless. So there's garbage cans on the streets just full of paper bills. People are using it for kindling and stuff.
Wow.
So
Rob and I were sending some clips back and forth. It looks like something similar is going down in China right now. A bunch of banks are getting doors closed and people outside protesting and not able to find it. So
like
yeah,
the US, like those small banks in California that shut down and
Yeah.
people lined up outside wondering what happened to their money.
yep,
yeah,
yeah, millions of dollars lost.
yeah. Little plug, if anyone's concerned about that happening, reach out to Rob because he helped me with some strategies to protect funds outside of the bank. So people think that it can't happen until it does. So
Yep. And I had to do this similar thing and have money in different spots just because who knows? I follow the economy. I invest in public companies and private companies and have my own business, and you never know like where this economy is gonna go, especially right now. So
yeah.
Awesome. But let's hope Calowry keeps making the ascent to the top, getting lots of contracts and investments. That's what we bring people on for, is to spread the word, spread the love for those who have a side hustle for their side hustle like Nim. So any final words, anything you can say to a potential investor or potential client out there that reason why they should, pick up the phone and get a hold of you? We'll have all your links in the comment section below. Easiest way to get a hold of you. And some final words that you can send out.
yeah, basically if you want to use Calowry in your products, we would support the R&D, so we would help build the recipes and make the perfect formulation with the Calowry product. And it would also not only does it cut the calories and carbs, it reduces cost by up to 30% as well, because you would have to use less of your main ingredient. That's about it. Yeah, if you'd like to become a shareholder or a business that could use Calowry in your products, feel free to reach out and I'll direct you to where you need to get to. Our founder is open and very knowledgeable with the product, and we'd have to do a little assessment if the companies would work for Calowry, but yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
Awesome. Any final words, Quinton? I'll let you finish it off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, everyone's getting more health conscious these days. There's a lot of people looking at what they're consuming and putting in their bodies and the fitness and everything that we kind of discussed. So I think that you're positioned at a good time in our, society and the marketplace. So yeah, definitely reach out to Nim and his team there, and they'll take care of you.
And we'll see you on the next episode of the Side Hustle.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
I get so nervous recording. I'm like, I should be going to Toastmasters. Like,
Yeah, we should have just give you the relax before we started, give everybody, just relax. You're talking to a couple of buddies at the Vancouver Club, just like you're at the Vancouver Club. Yeah, people get nervous about it, but then here's the thing. I saw this guy, I forget his name. Oh, Ben. He's on, I got all his reels because I subscribe to his channel on Instagram, but he's a speaking coach. And he talks, the best advice I've ever heard. And I've done 6-7 years of Toastmasters. He said, if you're getting started, record yourself for 1 minute. Just talk about anything for 1 minute. Hold the camera out, do a self-recording. He said, and then play it back and just listen to it. Don't watch the video. Play it back a couple times. And he said, then turn the audio off and watch the video a couple times. And you'll pick up so much more that you could improve on just by doing those two things.
Yeah.
So when you're watching the
advice.
replay on this podcast, just turn the video down and, watch your mannerisms and, a good way. I'm using a background, so it's not good, but, you can use your hands for gestures. You can use facial expressions. You can lean into the camera. This is the #1 investment you could ever make in Calowry, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get used to it. I actually did I didn't record it though. We used to do a podcast with a friend, and I remember listening to the first one, and then after like we did 10 or 15 of them, and it got much better, but it's been
you
years since
tend to
then.
get better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is our like third or fourth hundredth, webinar and podcast. So I really don't care anymore. Just get on and have fun and do your thing. And it's cool interacting. Like the first couple hundred we did with Aaron Fraser and then Jesse Quinton, those two guys.
Yeah.
So you get Quinton and I get more comfortable doing these together. And Jesse's been on a couple of these, the relaunch of our webinar. We're doing them as a podcast now. So thanks a million, man, for coming on. We'll see if we can get you some value or get that one investor you're looking for, that one major client you're looking for from watching the podcast.
That would be great. Yeah. And
then before we log off, go ahead, Nim.
I'll be in Vancouver Sunday for like a couple of weeks. Maybe we can get together, and then I do need to get my taxes done. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm like a little bit behind. So I was gonna.
How many decades? How many decades?
just a couple of years.
How many's a couple? I talked to one guy a couple of years was 40 years. It was hilarious.
No. 2020. I've just had to move around a lot, and then also business was a little bit slower in the first year. It was my only 6 months in, so I just couldn't do it. So should I get a bookkeeper to organize it, or you guys do that too?
You're just you don't have a corporation set up, do you?
I do, yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. What's the name again?
Simple AF Consulting.
Simple AF
Consulting Inc.
What does it stand for?
Simple as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, we can work together and get something set up. Where are you located?
I'm in Kelowna.
Oh yeah. Are we going up to Kelowna anytime soon, Quinton, to see Moffat?
I'm coming to Vancouver on Sunday.
Oh yeah, Sunday. Yeah, let's how long are you here for again? Sorry, a couple days?
2 weeks.
Yeah, so let's try and get together. We can get a couple forms signed, sit down, and it's been 4 years, so what's another week, right?
Yeah, I'm not in rush, as you can tell.
Awesome.
If you're here Sunday, I'm doing a comedy show in Surrey. I don't know if you like comedy, but I'll be there in Surrey at 7, or anytime that next week.
Where are you staying in town, Nim?
In Burnaby, Lougheed Mall area.
Are you driving down?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's meet up on Sunday. Go support Quinton at the comedy show.
Sure. 7 p.m. Where?
I just got sent the info. I'll text it over to you. It's Russell Brewery. Russell Brewery.
Okay.
But I'll send it over to you.
Yeah.
Quinn Tinder's going Quinn deep.
What, you're doing the stand up?
Yeah, I do it now.
So I write all his stuff, and he performs it.
He performs it
like a mannequin. No, I just came up with that one. He goes, I got to come up with some Indian jokes because Surrey's predominantly Indian. We just got to watch we don't get shot. That's the only thing.
Oh yeah, it's getting crazy down there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll be there for 7.
Okay, cool. I'll see you guys Sunday.
Yeah, if you want, we could get there a bit early and chat, and then have something to eat.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can, let's line it up. We'll just coordinate through Quinton, and then we'll line it up, Quinton.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome, Nim.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Okay, have a good one, man.
See you later.
You too. Bye.
Bye.